the hardest thing for most athletes because we are an all-consuming sport as far as, the dedication, going to the gym and the way we, our nutrition and stuff. So I think probably finding the balance is the hardest thing for most of our athletes, especially because now we have so many mothers, but we have so many. I know so many doctors in the sport, nurses in the sport, attorneys in the sport. So they have, their own professional career and they're a mother from the stage. Allow your body to make the changes because those changes are not going to happen in 2 or 3 weeks.
That's very, very true. So let's switch gears to this past Olympia that we just had, which was the Big 60. So I want you to just kind of, I'm sure you've already been on the circuit about it, but tell our viewers here, what were your biggest standout moments, particularly with the women, across the board?
Well, I mean, obviously, I think the most heartfelt moment was when, Sid retired after being our champion for 8 years and stuff. But again, she's going to go on to other things, in her life. And the thing is, too, when an athlete, especially at that caliber, I saw it when Jay retired, I saw it when Phil retired and stuff. The thing is that you can still be in our sport. You can still be in our community because that's really what we are, a community and an extended family. I just thought every division they all came to play this year. The quality, there was nobody that didn't come in their best shape. And I just thought that to me was a real positive thing for the Olympia. Those athletes came and they really did help the Olympia celebrate and make the 60th year a great year just because they all brought excellent quality.
That's good to get that whole perspective since you were there and seeing everybody up close and personal. And I would be remiss if I didn't obviously say that I was following and watching the women's bodybuilding, of course, this year. They brought it. The lineup was just incredible.
But it's nice to see some younger athletes coming into the division. It's nice to see that younger athletes coming into women's bodybuilding. Love that we saw so many, younger girls now that are coming into the women's bodybuilding division.
So what are you most excited for as we go into the 61st?
It's just so great, like I said, to see the sport grow and to see so many women and the resources that now are open to athletes, and I'm going to be a little bit obviously prejudiced here because I did start the women's workshop a couple years ago. And it's a give back. It's a give back from the NPC. It's a free seminar, but it was about getting women's faces out there because, everybody always says to me, like, you have nobody to take your place when you retire. And it's like, oh my God, we have so many amazing women all over the world. The resources that are open now to athletes, again, and it's both men and women because almost every state, has multiple workshops and multiple seminars.
So for those watching, what would be the easiest way for them to plug in with all these opportunities? If they're someone that it might not be actively competing at the moment, but they really want to just get involved and be a part of the community, because I think you're right. It's important, not just what we do on the stage, but what we do off the stage and how we continue to build a community and reach across the networks and the aisles and see how we can fulfill needs.
Oh, first and foremost, I would do is I would contact, because almost all our states are overseen by a district chairman or a district chairwoman. In case we have both. I would try to get involved in, locally in some of the shows, just volunteering to help expedite backstage or just to keep yourself involved. Again, network with I think for the workshops, the nicest thing for our amateurs coming in is most of the time local pros are always our pros are amazing. They are always willing to give back so that these athletes get to go and interact with some of the pros that they've been following online, and they get to do one-on-one posing with some of them because usually at almost every workshop now, everybody breaks out into the posing groups and stuff. So you actually get some tips back from, like I said, like that person that you've been following.
That's very good takeaways. As you have shared so many illuminating things over your tenure as head judge, what would be the one thing, or maybe you can articulate a few things that have brought you the most joy that you would like to leave as a legacy?
The different lives that you've touched. Like I just had somebody's mother at Olympia come up to me and say, oh my God, thank you, Sandy. My daughter's going to be a doctor, because I'm a big one on school, and not following, especially like I said, for the younger women, because you want to be able in your whole life to take care of yourself. Life happens. You can be in a relationship, and I'm not talking about divorce and that kind of stuff, but you might be in a relationship. The person that you're with might unexpectedly die. Accidents happen all the time. So you do want to be able to always take care of yourself. You want to have something to fall back on. And you're never going to compete for the rest of your life. It's not going to happen. That's the kind of stuff that, always makes me feel good. If you make yourself a better person, both mentally and physically, you are only going to be better for everyone else around you. And that includes your children. So knowing the lives that you've touched, even if you don't even know some of them, that's the legacy I'd like to leave.
I think that that's actually the best way that we could end this, because your truth, I feel, is something that any woman watching will be able to take away, whether they're preparing to step on the stage or they're not preparing to step on the stage. And I love the fact that you said we have to make sure that what we're doing, whether we're implementing policies in the league or participating as a competitor in the league, or we're just doing things in our community, it has to be with intention, with impact, to always make sure that we're doing things that will sustain no matter what we are doing. I think that that to me is a very powerful takeaway. Thank you so much for illuminating all of that and sharing everything with the channel and with me.
Oh, you're very welcome. I do want to say one thing before we go out though. I met a woman last year. I went to a show, and just the way the show was set up, masters divisions were first, and then like the true novice. So she won the 50, she won the 45, she won the 35, and I'm talking overalls and all them. Then she won the true novice, then she won the novice, and she won her class in the open. So when I went backstage, she was 50. I'm like, okay, you didn't decide yesterday that you were getting on stage. And she said no. She saw a picture of Rachel McClish when she was when this girl was 18 years old. She said, and she started training, and life happened. She had 2 daughters, and she wanted to make sure that they had a good life. She said financially she couldn't do both. She never stopped training and living the lifestyle. They went to college. She went to the stage.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that was a beautiful story,
and got her pro card the next week. Then,
oh my
God, mm-hmm.
Wow,
because the lifestyle is a lifestyle. You're not. And that's why I say to people, this is not just a fashion diet. Like what do you say, fad diet, like you're going to do for a couple months. And don't be wrong, some people do. It's a bucket list, and they do it, and they go on to other things. But for most of us, this is a lifestyle. So it doesn't matter whether you're getting on stage or what you're doing, you're still going to the gym and still the nutrition.
You're still taking care of your temple, still taking care of your body. Yep.
It's all about making yourself healthier and better. That's what this is about.
So everybody watching at home, if you are interested in getting into bodybuilding or building your body for a better version of you, just keep those main core principles at the forefront of everything you do, and you will already be a winner. With that, I will say thank you so much to Miss Sandy for her time, for her insight, and all the gems that she shared. I think unplugging is one of the things that we don't do enough. And I don't say this as athletes, I say this now in society, because of social media, and we're constantly trying to go here and there. And then especially if we do have a goal on top of that, sometimes it takes us so outside of ourselves that it's so good sometimes when we are in the trenches or we are going through those uncomfortable dig deep type of moments, because you drown all that out and you go in. And when you go in, that's usually when you're able to pull that good stuff out. That leads me into my next question about resilience and self-compassion, because those things are very, very important. So to someone watching right now, what would be your advice, how a young person or how somebody aspiring to reach any goal out there right now could practice their own form of self-compassion?
Well, first of all, it's important to acknowledge that no one can be so kind to yourself as yourself. It's great to have other people support you, but only you know what you need. and just checking in with yourself, like what you need right now emotionally. I mean, we can give ourselves love. It's not, people are always trying to find things in external things, like to make them feel good, like buying something. And they also seek outside validation to make them happy. You find it in you. My most important advice is to be aware of your inner dialogue with yourself, because there's no one you talk to as much as you talk to yourself. Be kind, be nice to yourself. Stop yourself if you're having thoughts that I would call destructive. Like, stop it, like knock it off, check yourself and be like, this is not a good road. I'm not going to do this to myself. Be grateful for where you are in your life, how far you come. That doesn't mean you shouldn't strive for more. Like, you should always try to better yourself, stay on path with your purpose.
Listen to yourself. Let your inner truth guide you along your journey. So no matter what anyone says, no matter what anyone else is doing or looks like, you are so set and content with yourself. You can do anything.
It's really important that you acknowledge that everybody has lived a life that has had different components, and they have different mindsets, so somebody may really live after the law of attraction, which I live a lot after, and the law of attraction is based on whatever you send out in the universe, you receive back. So if you send out positive energy and you manifest something, you will receive it at some point. The same goes for negative energy. If you're always negative and you think you're going to get nothing out of life and nothing's going to give you anything, and you're not going to achieve your dreams because they're not achievable, then they won't be. So it's about what is your own truth and what is your own belief.
I like this. I'm sitting here going, woo, yes, go girl. I'm here for all of this. Now, and as we close out, where are you now in your journey? Where to next for Hella Trevino, the life coach, the Olympian champion, the all-around beast queen? Where are you going next?
I am heading, well, right now I'm in a recovery season. My coach wants me to recover until end of the month. So it doesn't mean I'm not training. I'm not training twice a day. I'm just training once a day and no cardio. I'm more relaxed with my diet. So I'm back on track. I had a couple of weeks of eating probably everything I could get my hands on. Now I'm more like back on a okay diet, just a little bit more relaxed. I'm just waiting for him to cock the gun and we start some off-season building, see if we can make those gains. I was told I have to come in with wider back, bigger legs. So that's what we're going to work on.
You're cut out for the task because you exercise faith over fear.
And thank you to you also, Danielle. You do an amazing job with the channel and spreading the message, So big props to you as well. Thank you for everybody who tuned in. And I want to give a quick shout out to my sponsors also. My main sponsors are Bad Rap. Check out shopbadrap.com. They are actually one of the only women's bodybuilding sponsors, supporters. So whatever you buy on the shop, everything goes directly back to the athletes. So they have a number of athletes every year they sponsor. I was so grateful this year to be sponsored by them. Thank you so much, guys, for buying their clothing. Better Bodies, I'm wearing that right now, is my other main sponsor. Amazon FitMag, go subscribe. They also sponsor us athletes. Thank you so much.
All right. And we are going to end it on that note. Thank you, Hella Trevino, for stopping by again on the channel and sharing all of your insight, your wisdom, regaling us with your experiences this year as you made your return and graced the 60th Olympia stage. Can you share what your version of femininity is to you, and also what or how you feel your career will teach other women at home about femininity and how they can build their own enhanced version of themselves?
Femininity doesn't have a single standard. It's not just about a slim or muscle-free figure, as it's often portrayed. It's something that comes from within, can be expressed in many forms. In a muscular body like mine, but having muscle doesn't mean giving up your femininity or behaving like a man. I train hard and may wear masculine clothing in the gym, but inside I am always a woman. I take care of myself, do my skincare, wear makeup, and choose outfit that highlight my physique without overdoing it. Because femininity lies in a gesture, something no one can teach or judge. To the woman getting into bodybuilding, I can say take care of yourself, preserve your essence, and don't be afraid to push you any less feminine, because femininity is an inner strength.
That's beautiful. And that's so true. Feminine is not just an external thing, it is internal, it's inside of us all. And it's a matter of, especially as women, to honor that no matter what we look like on the outside,
Yes.
we still have it on the inside. And so if we embody that, it will shine through no matter what. Lastly, I want to ask, what is the one takeaway from this whole year, that piece of wisdom or lesson that you learned with career and life and goals, everything? What is one thing that you are so glad that you were able to learn that you can take away for next year?
My story can be an example, I think, an example of resilience. It shows that even when faced with like a serious illness, determination and inner strength can help us come back stronger than before. And resilience in bodybuilding, as in life, is the ability to rise and keep fighting, even when it seems impossible. What my journey can teach others, I think, is the importance of setting realistic yet ambitious goals, while always keeping self-belief. It's not just about not giving up, but about continuing to grow through challenges, finding new strength in difficulties. Along the way, it's crucial to never forget you why, the reason that drives you to fight every day. Learning to manage small, short terms goal gives you the motivation and structure to tackle longer. My experience show that even when it seems like all is lost, there is always a part to recover and reach new milestones.
I think that is the most beautiful way to wrap this up. And I just want to say thank you so much, Nadia, for your heart, your truth, and for your time with us today.
So I really want to get back to that. And I think that I am. I think that this year really showed me that, yeah, all of that outside stuff just really isn't important. I got to get back to why I love training, why I do what I do, you know, what brings me my happiness. And sometimes I wonder if competing is even what brings me my happiness. That's not why I got into bodybuilding. I didn't, necessarily say, I want to be Miss Olympia. I want to go to the Olympia one day. When I
Right.
got pro card, I was sort of like, okay, now what does that mean?
Right.
Like,
I hear you, girl.
what
Hmm.
happens now? I
Right.
don't know.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
and I was much happier back then. So I'm really going to focus
Yeah.
on getting back to the enjoyment of it, and know that as long as I'm improving and as long as I'm developing, the physique that I want to have and the vision that I have for myself, then we're winning.
This is going to take away from is that it doesn't have to be linear in order for it to be successful. Yes, it's great if it happens that way and looking at yourself and going, am I still having fun? Yep, keep going. Am I still having fun now? Nope. Okay. Why? Let's assess. I, can speak for myself as well and saying that yeah, competing it is something that yes, we put our all our intentions to do our best, but at some point you gotta remember why you started it. And in the beginning, I'm sure most that are gonna watch are gonna be like, yeah, I remember what it was like when I first started. The ones that typically tend to stay in it, whether they become a pro or not a pro, there's some form of enjoyment. If you stop having fun, that's when it's something you have to look at and go,
Right.
okay. So now, what does success look like for Sherry Priami now?
To me, I'm finding that success is really taking the time for your family, your loved ones, but also part of that is being a good role model,
Mm.
influential. Um, I know that my kids and a lot of my friends, look up to what I do. I have had strangers, reach out to me. Have seen some, news clips and stuff that I've done and in the area, just complete random strangers, saying how I inspire them or I've, made them start, to work out. Just little things. I had a patient a while ago that I talked to him about wrestling, because my son used to be a wrestler, and he was playing a lot of video games, and he's unsure, his physical, self wasn't where he wanted to be, and he wasn't sure what he wanted to do. And I tried to talk to him about wrestling. He was going into high school. And like yesterday, his dad came in, and I had not seen his dad as a patient. His dad sat in my chair and said, just want to thank you. You had a talk with my son about wrestling a while ago, and he joined the wrestling team this year. And he said, and he absolutely loves it. And he said it's because of you. See, I was so grateful because his dad said, I tried to talk to him about these things. I tried to talk to him about physically getting, healthy and doing something active and stop playing on the computers and to join a sport. And he said he wouldn't listen to me. He said, I don't know what you said to him. And honestly, I don't remember what I said to him. But the fact that it stuck and the fact that he told his dad that I left this impression on him, that's success to me. Touching people in those kind of ways because I do what I do. And he took what I said seriously because he knew I was a bodybuilder. We talked a little bit about that. And, you know, just motivating people in ways like that to me is success. It really brings me a lot of joy. I want to get emotional about it. um, there's not a lot of ways to touch people. And so if you can do something that you're passionate about and people can be motivated through that, I just think that's really awesome. I don't know why I'm crying. I think my
It's
hormones are
okay.
probably off.
No, no, no. I think I have that effect. No.
I think my estrogen levels are balancing back out.
Oh, okay.
That kind of stuff just really it keeps me going. It keeps
Yeah.
me going. And to have my kids be proud of what I'm doing and where, and tell their friends about it and stuff. That just feels like success for me. I want to find something that I can do in my life that's going to help people in that regard, to help them feel motivated and confident in themselves, and to realize that if you have a goal and you set your mind to it, that anything can happen. My story is not so typical. I started this in my 40s after having 3 kids. like I said, I was, a house mom who had no intentions on stepping on the Olympia stage, and here I am battling it out 2 years in a row with Miss Olympia. Like, how freaking amazing is that? I've reached a good, successful part in my life, but I want to be able to find a way to have it reach other people.
It's refreshing again to speak with individuals that you're about making a statement in your own life, but it's not just for your own personal gain. That's, I think, the most important takeaway. It's good to have dreams, it's good to have goals, and it's good to put yourself first. But at some point, if you want to continue to see things grow, whether it's bodybuilding or anything that you put yourself into, it's good to have that thing, that goal in mind, that I'm going to take what I'm doing and make sure that I pass it along. And I think
Right.
that that is a good, healthy reminder, even when we're in the midst of doing what we're doing, is remembering, like, okay, yeah, we want to do well and we want to be our best, but we also don't want to tear ourselves down or make ourselves so depleted that we cannot be in service to other people.
I don't want to feel like I went through all this and became this and did this for this many years just for a trophy, just for a medal. Like,
Yeah.
there's got to be more. There's got to be a deeper reason that God put this path, in my life.
I think I'm going to close it on that note. I think that's a really good place to end this, because the journey is ever evolving, and the takeaway is to just be fluid with it, trust God, trust timing, surround yourself with people that they see the value in your dreams, and they also encourage you to have a little faith in the in between. Take it easy a little bit, and know that every single step is leading you to ultimately where you want to go. And I think that's the beauty
Right.
of this journey. Sherry, thank you so much for stopping by, for your time, for all your insights. Thank you to those who are watching out there. Whether you're an athlete who's pushing yourself, in love with the gym, or just wanting to better yourself, I hope that this episode sparks something inside of you. So as we continue to evolve, just remember, be good to yourself and be good to others. I'll see you soon.